Three numbers changed my life, changed everything. Now, it took me a few years to finally see these numbers, but once I saw them, they changed everything. Now, this video is a little bit different. My channel is a little bit different. I mean, anybody who's watched my videos or seen my channel, you know, I talk about stuff from young Gen X, quote unquote Sigma male, entrepreneur point of view. So, you know, I talk about certain stuff from a middle age perspective. But this was something that I discovered in middle age that I wish I had known earlier. So I'm going to share this with my audience, share this with whoever. Maybe it can help you find your numbers. But here's the three numbers that changed my life. 5, 10, and 17. Now I'll break it down for you. Now these are numbers that I saw in my life. Your numbers might be a little bit different, but here's the premise behind your magic numbers. This is a personal thing. When you go out into the world, and I'm not talking about with your family, people who know you, who see you most often. I'm talking about out in the world, out in the public. Half of the people out here ain't paying no attention to you. It's nothing personal. They just ain't paying no attention to you. They're in their own world, got their own shit that they're focused on. They never even saw you. So think of it like a pie, 100% pie. Out of 100, half of that pie, 50%, never even fucking saw you. You don't even exist in their world. Like I say, it's not personal. Now, about a third of that pie, 33%, they looked at you. They saw you. And then they kept going about their business. Nothing changed. You didn't reach them. You didn't impact them. Nothing about you necessarily made them want to fuck with you. Made them want to change what they were doing. Again, it's not necessarily personal. They could have looked at you, but was thinking something else. But overall, 50% of the crowd never even saw you. And another 33% saw you, kept going. That leaves 17%. Sounds like you're losing. Feels like something went wrong, like you fucked up somewhere. Not necessarily. Now, you gotta think about this. In any given situation, like say outside of your family, out there in the world, out there in the public, people that don't know you, for the most part, in any given situation, 1 out of 10 people in that room does like you, does identify with you, does want to hear more from you, does want to see more from you. They relate to you. That's your tribe. That's your audience. You just being authentically you. They like it. They identify with it. They want to see a little bit more of that. That's 1 out of 10, 10%. So you got, out of that 100%, you got 10 that rides with you. They fuck with you. Now you got to remain in 7. Because remember, 50 never saw you. 33 saw you, kept going. But you got your 10%, and they roll with you. They ride with you. That's your tribe. That's your crew. You know each other. You speak the same language. But there's an extra 7% that you could get. That's the 17. If you still being you, still authentically being you, I mean, trying to get better, but not changing anything about yourself, trying to get better as a person, but still being authentically you. And you know, as a Sigma male, we're all about authenticity. So you being you, but just doing a little bit more. You know, being a tad bit flashier, or maybe a little bit more social, or, you know, maybe dress up just a tad bit more, just a little bit more. You can get that 7%. You can get that extra 7%, and now you're at 17. Now here's where things change. I'm gonna smoke on this one. People say 17%. 17 out of 100 is still losing. You're not even getting a quarter of the audience. You're still losing. What celebration? How would this change your life? Because fractions. 10% is 1 out of 10. 17% is 1 out of 6. 16.66666. I'm kind of a fractions nerd from a past life, past period in my life. But you can get 1 out of 10, or you can get 1 out of 6. Which would you rather have? You think about any situation you've been into. Say you're a dude. You go out to the club. You see the different women you're attracted to. Which would you rather have? I got a 1 out of 10 chance that one of these girls likes me. I can get her number. I can hook up with her. Or 1 out of 6. You take 1 out of 6 every day. So 10 is just naturally 1 out of 10, 10%. Naturally, the people that you not changing anything about you, you just authentically being you, 10% of the people, 1 out of 10, they fuck with you. But you being you and just not even reaching, you just being you, but extending yourself just a little bit more, you can get 17%. And now that's 1 out of 6. Fuck it. Let's say you get 20. It's 1 out of 5. But speaking of 5, that's 5%. That number 5 represents 5%. Naturally, you get 10% of the audience. 1 out of 10. But that's if you're authentically you and you do something. You give them something. You step outside of your comfort zone and you produce something. When you don't, and like I say, this might just be a Sigma male video because sometimes Sigma males can be extroverted and sometimes we're introverted. Sometimes we're stuck in our head and sometimes we can be just fully be in the moment. We're hybrids. We're Samuel Jackson with the purple lightsaber in Star Wars. And so when you don't say anything, when you stay in your comfort zone, when you don't produce, when you don't socialize, when you don't extend yourself, you cut your tribe in half. That 10 drops down to 5. And now you're talking about 1 out of 20. Who wants to fuck with 1 out of 20? 1 out of 20 is work. That's hard. I got to go through 19 rejections to get to 1, or even if it's not in succession like that, period. I got to shoot my gun 20 times to hit the target versus 1 out of 10 versus 1 out of 6, maybe 1 out of 5. You see what I'm saying? Once I discover that for myself, and like I said, your numbers might be different, but the core of it is the same. It is when you are naturally you. Who fucks with you? What's your crowd? Who rides with you? And so initially you might be like, not a whole lot of people. But that's fine, because overall in the world, like I say, not really talking about your family, not talking about longtime friends, you already got them. Just in general in the world, when you walk into any given room, half that room ain't paid you no attention. In general, half that room ain't really paying you no attention. And a third of that room kind of passed on you. That's fine, because when you're authentically you, you know in any and every room you go in, 1 out of 10, they fuck with you. I don't mean they pay attention to you. I mean they fuck with you. They like you. They press like. They subscribe. And on my channels, I've never asked anybody to press like. I've never asked anybody to subscribe. I might ask for you to comment, because as a Sigma male, I like conversation. I like a back and forth. I like to listen. I like to respond. But I've never asked for a like. I've never asked for a subscribe, and I never will, because that's not my objective. If I'm to be raw about it, I don't give a fuck. If you like it like that, if you don't. But that's what I'm saying. When you enter that room and you'll go, 50% of the room ain't even paying me no attention. I got my best shit on. I'm smelling good, shaved up, all of this. Oh, man. And then another third, they looked at me and then they just walked away. They didn't even say nothing. Don't sweat that shit. Don't sweat that shit. I'm telling you, now that I know, don't sweat that shit. Because you just being you, goofy and all, lame and all, 10% of that crowd, 1 out of 10, loves you. Loves you. And if you could just do a little bit more naturally, you can get another 7, maybe even 10%. Maybe you double it, and now you're getting 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5. I can take that walking into any room and knowing that 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5 fucks with me. Come on, authentically. I didn't chase them, because Sigma males, we don't chase. We may pursue, but we don't chase. You may say, what's the difference? You might pursue a diploma, meaning you have an objective, you have an ending, and you want to line yourself up to get it. Chasing is whatever way the wind blows that has me end up where I want to be. Hell no. We don't chase people, and we don't chase relationships. But when the shit is natural, when the shit is authentic, it's the best shit in the world. It's the best shit in the world. It's just 1 out of 6. It's 1 out of 7. It's 1 out of 10. And you have to live with that if you're willing to enjoy and appreciate the beauty of that real shit when it happens. So like I say, this is a Sigma male video, because a lot of other people wouldn't really identify with what I'm saying, but there's a lot of you out there, I'm willing to bet 1 out of 10, there's a lot of people out there that's like, that is true, that is true. I mean, like, when I'm just authentically me, goofy and all, you know what I'm saying, holes in my game and all, when I'm authentically me, I do a lot better than I thought I would, and I think I would. It's when you chase, and it's when you notice the 50% that didn't pay you attention. It's when you notice the 33% that saw you and turned around. That's the shit that deflates you, makes you not say anything, makes you stay in your comfort zone so you don't get hurt, so you don't get wounded, and then you cut that tribe, that 10% down to 5. Fuck all of that. When you find your magic numbers, when you find your numbers that represent you naturally being you being you, just a little bit more, and you when you're at your worst, when you don't say nothing, when you don't extend yourself, when you would rather just sit here and look cool and be cool, and cut yourself off from opportunities. So I'm saying it took me a few years to get to this point. It took me a few years to realize that. And then when I actually saw the numbers, when I actually visualized the numbers and kind of what they represented, I was like, I can fuck with that. I don't have to get 50% of the audience, because that's not real. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're there, they're not really there. They're not really there. Numbers, as you get more and more numbers, think about it. I should make another video about this. This is some more deep shit. The more you get with numbers, kind of like the more hollow the meaning. Or not the more hollow the meaning, but like the more diluted the value. So it's like you get that first dollar as a business owner. Of course you want more money, but I got my first dollar. After you done got $1 million, you don't respect that $1 the same. You only see things in terms of millions of dollars. You only see things in terms of 6 figures and 7 figures and 8 figures. Motherfucker, it took you a while to get 1 figure. Keep the respect. And so I think it's kind of like that. Like, if you go into things thinking about the numbers and say what could be, or the numbers on an elevated level, I think you're losing the real shit that's right here. So when you go into that room, this is my advice, that middle-aged guy, your boy Diversified, the young Gen Xer, young, but when you go into any given room, I'm telling you, 1 out of 10 in that room, 10% of the people, they fuck with you. Just be you. Just be you. And you got them already. Do a little bit more, and maybe you could double that. But if you don't say shit, stay in your comfort zone and act like you ain't got to, move, you ain't got to extend yourself or do nothing, you ain't got to say nothing to nobody, you cut that shit to 5. And now you look the fool shooting your gun 20 times to hit the target once. You could have been much more efficient and much happier. So, my numbers, my advice, my life. But tell me what you think, what's going on for you, what works for you. This your boy. Just had to share this with my tribe. I'll get back at you.